Hello, everyone, and welcome to another DCOA sponsored tutorial. And I am Joan Turner, your art teacher. And today we are going to do one of our famous mandalas. I call this a grape mandala because it has purple in it and pink, purples and pinks and all that good stuff going on. Okay, so if you do not have this in your handout, if you're just working from your home studio or your kitchen table, whatever it might be, everything is okay, then you will want to have a picture of this, even if you take a picture of it with your phone or something. Okay, so you want to see what that looks like. It's extremely cool. You will also need a canvas, right? So you should have gotten canvases with your art packs if you pick them up at the Drake Council on Aging. If not, you may use whatever canvases you have available. I'm going to use an 8x8 canvas and canvas board. Actually, it's very thin. Okay, you could use a canvas, you can use a canvas board, you could use a piece of wood. You can paint on just about anything. Okay, if you're painting on a piece of wood, you might want to put well, we're going to put a coat of paint on it anyway. But for this picture, you want to choose like 3 colors anyway, and then we're going to do a black background. I can say that 3 times fast. Okay, maybe I can't. All right, so anyway, we're going to do that. So you can use any 3 colors you want. Okay, I am going to use pink. Okay, pink. I'm going to use white, and I'm going to use blue. All right, so I'm going to use those 3 colors. Oh, purple. I want to use purple. So this is going to be my purple. And you can use any colors that you want, obviously, but you want to have colors that you like that kind of look good together. And you're going to need a ruler. This is my ruler. Okay, we're going to need dotting tools. So we're going to use small, medium, and large dotting tools. And then I have this small dotter for really small dots and the dots. If in fact you don't have dotting tools, we know how to do these things here. Okay, you can get a pencil, and you could, and you probably already have these if you've done other dotting tutorials. You could take a dime and actually super glue it onto the bottom of the pencil. You can make them all different sizes. Here's like a really big one. Okay. Daubing, these little dropper bottles. These make awesome dots. Okay. Water, pencil. Right. So pencil is an amazing dotting tool because you not only get the eraser side to dot on, where I'm going to use the small dotting tool, okay, you can use the tip of the pencil. Okay, so as I'm dotting like this, you can use this to dot. Okay, so obviously it wants to be a pencil, but you're not going to use it for anything else other than your dotting. Okay, so we want a large, a medium, and a small. Okay, and something this size. Okay, and they don't have to be exact sizes. You just want them to be different and kind of be interesting. All right. So those are our dotting tools. We definitely want paper towels nearby. I like to keep some swabs, cotton swabs nearby. If you happen to get a little dot in the wrong place and you want to like pick it up right away, it's nice to have a swab nearby that you don't have to go looking for. Bowls of water. I was going to say buckets. It's late. I've done 3 classes all day today. Okay, cut me a little slack. A bowl of water or 2. Okay, so that's when you're not using your tools, not recommended for your pencils. You can just kind of put them in here. You know, we're using acrylic paints, and you don't want the acrylic paints to dry on your tools. It'll make it bumpy on the end. You won't be able to use it really good for dotting after that. So you kind of want to watch your tools. For besides the paints mentioned, you will want some black paint because we want to give our panel or canvas 2 coats of black paint or dark purple paint if you're using pink and purple and so on and so forth. You can actually make it any color that you want, but you want it to be dark. Okay, so that when we put these colors on top of it, it looks awesome. Okay, so we want to do that. Is there anything else we need? Of course, hot cocoa, but you already knew that. Okay, so you have to have your hot cocoa. Unless you're in heat, you know, well, if you're in the heat, okay, then you probably don't want to have hot cocoa. If you're in a nice air-conditioned house or a studio, you could drink your hot cocoa. All right. So without further ado, let's go ahead and I'm going to take my paper towel here because I put my brush in the water. It's really coming out this greenish blackish color. Oh, because there's green in there. Totally. Okay. This is going to be fun. All right. So remember what I say, kids, that we want to put 2 coats. We want to put 2 coats of black paint on here. And let's see. The size, you see, this big humongousness here. Okay, so this is, you can see it. I love it. So I have some black paint out already. So I'm going to paint my canvas. Okay, a nice smooth coat always is better. Okay, and even though it's going to get a second coat, the first coat can be on the thin side, certainly, that's okay. However, we do want to get it nice and smooth here. Right, and like I say, this is just a first coat, nice and smooth. Cover your canvas. If you're using an 8x10, that's absolutely okay. If you're using an 8x8, that's okay. You can use a 16x20 if you want. You'll be dotting for a long time. But I certainly do have mandalas that are that size. Okay, so now here's my first coat. So you probably already have your first coats on because if you got a newsletter, and that's another resource for you. If you got a newsletter, there is a picture of this mandala in the newsletter. Okay, so you can actually take it right off your email with this in there, or if you have a paper newsletter, you can just cut it right out. Okay, so I am going to let this dry, and then I'm going to put a second coat on there. Through the magic of computers, right? This will be a very seamless process. Okay, so once this is dry, then we're going to put a second coat on. All right, and again, if you already have a second coat on there, just hold on and let me catch up. Okay, so this is 2 almost dry coats of paint on my canvas board. So I am going to put that down here. Okay, so for a palette, we usually use paper plates. Okay, you can actually use anything because with dotting we use such small amounts of paint. Actually, this little pill container really works really well. And of course, they have little tiny paint dishes and stuff that they sell like at the dollar store and all that good stuff. But as I say, plain old paper plate will do the trick. So without further ado, let us move to the next section, which is going to include the teacher putting her spectacles on. Now I can see you. Okay, so yeah. A word about our background color is that if in fact some students actually mix paints, like they'll put some purple in with the black, or this actually has some sparkle stuff in it going on, or some varnishy stuff going on in it. If you're going to do that, you can be relatively sure that you are going to have to do some touch up at some point. Okay, so I had just the teensiest bit left over, and I put it in a little airtight container that I can now use to do any kind of touch ups going on. All right, so now we're going to reposition the camera so that you can see what I'm doing. I was watching a tutorial one time, and the gentleman was so into what he was doing, and he's going along, and he was very good about showing everyone everything that he was doing. However, he forgot to turn the camera back to the project that he was working on. So we're watching him paint and blah blah. Thinking to myself, "Come on, Mister," you know. So finally, he's like, "Oh my God," you know. So we're gonna try not to do that. We're gonna try and get it right here. All right. So here, put the camera down here. That can work. Move my hot cocoa out of the way. You will notice that my art table has a lot of paint on it. So this is actually a wooden table, and all these things, all this little paint is really paint on here. This table is, let me see, how old is it? It's 29 years old. So it has all kinds of paint on here. If you're painting on your table or something that it matters if you get paint on, cover it, right? Cover the floor, cover the table, whatever it is you're working on. So they sell, you can just put a piece of plastic, you could put paper. I'm going to say, you know, tablecloths from the dollar store would work just fine. And of course, your art clothes. These are my art clothes. Right? So if I get paint on them, I have to say I'm definitely in the habit of wiping my brushes off on my clothes and all that. So art clothes, and protect whatever you don't want to get paint on. Because again, acrylic paint, once it dries, it becomes permanent. Okay. I didn't know I had all these little caps. They're so cool. All right, so here is my guideline, my picture here. Now I'm going to take my ruler and find the center of my canvas here. So I definitely need some guidelines. And this is kind of a diamond shape here. If you turn it this way, it's just a regular square. Right, so I have, this is an 8x8, so I know half of 8 is 4 inches. If you're using an 8x10, okay, you're 8 this way, 10 this way. So you're going to make a little mark at 4 inches, which I should have actually got a different ruler here, but 4 looks like it's right here. I'm going to give myself a little 4-inch dot. Okay. And now another little 4-inch dot this way. Let's see if I see that dot. Good, good. And this dot. So, did I have a good eye or what? All right. You should be as impressed with me as I am with myself. No, kidding, kidding. All right. So now I'm going to take this and make sure it's even, actually. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to make a line going this way at the 4-inch mark. And another one going this way, right where my dot is. So I actually just know where the center of my canvas is. Okay, so now I'm going to say to you, if you're using an 8x10, right, you're going to do half of it, half of 8 is 4, half of 10 is 5. Okay, so you want to find the center of your canvas, regardless of what size you have. You can find the center by just simply dividing by 2. Okay, so I kind of totally messed up mine. I have all kinds of rulers, and they all look like this. They all have these all over. Therefore, okay, so I think we could be done there. Okay, and because this was not quite all the way dry, we have some ruler lines here. Yours should be totally dry, so you should not be having a problem. But I am going to, not going to brush out my guidelines. I am going to brush out some of these ruler markings here. Okay. Just because I want this to be nice and smooth. You never know when you might have a masterpiece going on. Okay, so I'm going to clean up my brush here. It looks pretty good there. Now I know exactly where my center is. And while that's setting here, I'm going to get my paints out. Now I already put my purple in here. And as I say, you know, these little pill containers make perfect palettes for this paint because you use such a little amount. Okay, so you can certainly put them on paper plates. We use paper plates all the time. But if you have, I got this actually at the dollar store as well. I'm going to put my purple in there, and I'm going to put my pink in there. Pink in this one. And when you're putting in your paints, don't put a lot in because it's better for you to kind of put more in as you need it because you use such a little bit, you don't want it to kind of dry out. I'm going to put my white in this one over here. There I go. Maybe a little bit more now. Okay, so I have pink. By the way, if you don't have pink paint, mix white and red. Obviously, you will get pink. Okay, and we're going to use a couple of different kinds of pink. Pink is brighter than the other. So this really light pink has more white in it than that pink. All right, so unless you're using like a pink paint here, you can make pink by red and white. If you don't have purple, red and blue makes purple. And this is actually blue paint, which I took out. It's not really in there. Maybe I'll put it aside. So I have pink, purple. Of course, it could be more purpley, and white. Okay, so actually, I'm going to try to use these 3 colors here. All right, let's see what we can do. So for the very first dot, okay, I'm going to use the white, and I'm going to use my biggest daughter, okay, which might be this. Or I have a feeling that if you have one of these with a dime on the end of it, okay, that would be big. I actually made a bunch of these, and for this one, obviously, it just has a huge wooden disc on it, but you can put quarters on them, like about a package of these pencils, because this side of the pencil has a job. I put quarters, nickels, dimes, pennies, so that it had all different kinds and different shapes and whatnot. These Java bottles, because they're so soft, they really do a good job. And of course the pencils. and the sharp points. So your largest, okay, your largest utensil, your largest dot-er, and we're going to put a white dot right in the center, okay, where you figure out where the center was. So there's my center dot. Okay. And then around that center dot, right? And again, I know I say this in every video, but I really feel that it's worth repeating. If in fact I'm going too fast for you, slow down the recording, the YouTube, the TV, whatever it is that you're watching this from, and then just take your time and catch up. If I'm going too slow for you, wait for me. Please don't go ahead. Typically what happens is when people go ahead and make a mistake, and then they'll like call and say, oh my God, I made this mistake. How am I going to do this? Blah, blah, blah. So I'm going to say, if I'm going too fast, stop the recording, catch up, and do your own time. Don't rush. If I'm going too slow, please wait and wait till I catch up to you. Okay, so now we have that middle white dot, and I know that we made it bigger than the handout, but that was done purposefully because I like the center dots to be a little bit bigger. But we need to do the small dots around it now. So you're going to use your pencil point. Okay, now you can have two pencils, one with a blunt point and one with a really pointy point. Obviously, the one with a really pointy point is going to make really tiny dots. A blunt point is going to make one a little bit bigger. But I'm going to use the small, I'm actually going to use the small dot-er. And I'm still using the white paint. Okay, and my cross lines are here, so I'm going to actually do this and this. So if you can see it. Okay, so you kind of want to get them as close as possible without touching your middle circle. All right, so doing them that way makes them very evenly spaced. So there's a method to making a dotted mandala. Okay, so we want to make them equally spaced, but then I am going to put another dot in between them. Okay, so wait until I show you what I'm doing. Okay, so see, I put one here and one here, like right across from each other. So see how it kind of more evenly spaced down? So now I'm going to do the same thing on the other side, right in the middle and right in the middle. Okay, that's a little closer. All right. So see, and now I'm actually going to fit one more in between each one. All right, and I'm not letting the paint build up your pencil or your tool, whichever you're using. Okay, because again, it can get blobby. You don't want blobs, we want dots. So these are as close as I can get them without actually touching each other. Okay. Spread this out just a little bit. Okay, usually when I do my work, I have some nice music playing. I don't want it to kind of interfere with the audio part of this. So So it's a little on the quiet side. Right, so once we get our dots there, right, now we're going to switch to the eraser side of the pencil, or the second to largest one that you have. And we are going to do the same thing with the purple dot. Okay, so watch for a second, because I'm going to use those guidelines that I put on here to get those dots on here. Okay, so I'm not pressing really, really. So I'm going to do exactly the same thing. I'm doing the whole east, west, north, south thing. Okay, again, because I can get the spacing pretty good that way. So now I'm going to do 1, 2. So I can fit 2 of these. If in fact you cannot fit 2 in yours because you have a slightly different size, they're closer together, whatever the reason might be, there's this is a guide, but yours should be uniquely yours. So if in fact it comes out a little different, I think that's totally okay. Okay. Okay, so slow down the video if it's too fast for you. Wait for me. I'm too slow. So now we have little white dots on the inside. So I'm going to go back to my small tool. So we have these purple dots. In between purple dots, there's a little white dot there. Let's see if I can look. If at any point you get confused, look at your handout. Okay, so there's little white dots here, right here. So I'm going to put them in, and they are in between each of the purple dots. So let me do one, and then I will show you what they look like. Okay, let's do it a little bit better. Okay, so here, right there, secondary dot in between my 2 purple dots. And I'll do a couple more so that you can really see them well. Okay. So now, this one is in between the large purple dots. So be patient. You absolutely do not have to hurry. There's no emergency to get this done unless you're making it as a gift for someone. And even then, it's not an emergency, because even if you were to not get it finished, you could say, the gift is on its way, fear not. Okay, so have those little dots now. Little tiny dots. Now, we're going to put some dots on the outside of the purple dot. We're going to go just a little bit bigger now. Okay, we'll do a couple. And again, I'm using the white paint. And you know when to re-dip. Okay, so here's my white dot outside. I'm going to continue on in that vein. I'm just putting them right over the center with my purple dots. Oh, this is going to be a nice one. You know, mandalas, as you're working on them, as they start to grow, they get so beauteous that you're like, oh my God, it's beautiful already, and I didn't even do much to it. Very cool. All right, we are gonna go just go a bit yet. Yep. No, let's go. Let's stay with. Let's use the same one, which I believe, if you're not using a red dotting tool, using the edge of your eraser, the edge of the pencil. All right. So now what we're doing is this second row of purple dots. So going back to the purple now. And if you're not sure where these are going, hang in there. And I will show you. Ta-da! Okay, so we're going to the next row. Again, get confused. Yeah. So, purple dots on top of the white ones. Okay, not on top of them, but right near them. See it? Turn this around. So I'm doing purple. I almost put it in the wrong color. So pay attention to what you're doing. Like I said, I actually did 3 art classes today, which was very rewarding. I had a class, a student in who takes a private lesson at 10 a.m. And I had 2 young students. They are 9 and 7 came in and did an art class. And then we have an art student who has been a student for a lot of years. She has a little bit older now, is housebound. So I go to her house now. She's been a student of mine for like 20 years and has tried a whole bunch of different things, watercolors, acrylics, oils, drawing, certainly. So she's done a number of things. Okay. So I go there. So I came home. I vegged out for an hour. And now I am here with you. All right. So now we're going to go to our darker pink. We're going to use our smallest tool or pencil tip. See these darker pink dots here? We are going to put them in. This is called walking the dots. And let me see if I can get close enough. We actually would like this to be a little bit darker here. So I'm wondering. Yeah, well, do I want to? Maybe. Okay, so hold that thought. I'm going to go get a darker pink. If you are mixing your own pink, then mix it to a shade that you like. And make sure it's a darker shade. And I actually have a red here. It's kind of a fiery red, is what it's called. And I'm going to put some of that red in here. Okay, just a tad. But then I'm going to take my pink and mix the pink in there as well. Okay, so you want a pink shade that's a little bit darker than your main shade. It's reacting because I put too much. But it definitely is a darker shade, darker. Okay, so I'm using my dotting tool to stir it up here. And actually, I have to say this is the first time I've used this, and I'm doing a good job. I'm liking it. Okay, so let's go back to work here. Okay, and we're gonna walk the dots around that purple dot, and see if I can get close enough. I wonder if I move this yet again. I don't want to put it in the paint. I'm wondering if I can get closer. So that better. But let us try it because I want to show you how to walk the dots. And we've done this before, but if this is your first mandala tutorial, okay, so you put a dot right there, and then you put this first bit, put that first dot in, and then walk the dots down here. So what ends up happening is the daughter runs out of paint, so the dots get smaller. So it's called walking the dots. Okay, so I'm going to go on the other side now. So I'm going to go in the first dot yet again. Walk it down the other side. Okay. Can you see that? That's walking the dots. Walking the dots. Okay, so let's put you back up here. Get better view. What's going on? Ta-da. There we go. I'm gonna try do another one. Let's try this guy. And I'll show you what it looks like in a minute. So here's the second one. Okay, and I am cleaning off the tool, and if you're using a pencil, just wipe off the tip because you don't want the paint to build up at the end. Okay, let us continue on. So I'm doing, I want to say about 5 dots around each one. But if you have enough room and you want to put 6, by all means, go ahead and do that. If your daughter is bigger and you can only fit 4, 5, that's okay too. You're going to find that there's not too many wrong ways to do this. So on going, keep on keeping on. Five, I'm doing 5 here. The center, wait till Drake at Council on Aging. We're doing so much renovation in there. When it does finally open up, which I think is going to be around the 1st of the new year, you are going to totally love it. Getting a facelift, top to bottom. Me and the class had pictures hanging, and we had to take them down because they're doing some work on the ceilings in there. I believe that they replaced the cafeteria floor. And for those of you who may not know, weather permitting, we have been doing some art classes outside. There is a tent, a hard roofed tent out in the parking lot, and up in the back parking lot. And it's a big, huge roof. And so from far away, it looks like a tent. And if it is a tent, it has a really hard shell roof on it. So a couple of times it's been kind of too hot to be out there. But if the weather permits, we have been holding our classes out there. So if you'd like to join us, we would love to have you. We are doing them on Friday mornings from 11 to 12:30. So they're hour-and-a-half classes. We were, when the center was open, we were running them for 2 hours, but right now, everyone is kind of using the outside. So when the center was open, we could use like different rooms in the center, like for exercise, art, all kinds of cool stuff. But we just have that kind of one space to do everything. I saw them serving breakfast out there one day. Okay, so they're using that spot for a lot of activities. So, like I said, you can go for breakfast. I don't know if they have lunch out there, but absolutely call the center and find out. I know that they're doing an exercise class out there on Mondays, I believe, Monday mornings. What else did they tell me was there? I think a yoga class. So what I'm getting at is there's still a lot going on over there, even though we're not allowed in the back of the building yet. There is access to the bathrooms in case that's needed. But other than that, we're working inside. So if it gets too hot, I mean, it's August now, so we've had some really nice days, but we've had some really hot days when, like I said, hot to actually go outside. So we scheduled it. Okay, so we are ready to do our next dots. All right, so with the lighter pink, we're going to do the next row of dots. Okay, which is so we did this row in here. So now we're going to do this row right there. And I, once again, show you how we're going to do that. So I'm going to take the lighter pink now, kind of do the exact same thing here. Walk in the dots. Walk in the dots. Okay. Let me bring one more down here. Looky, looky, right there. And see, one's next to it. Okay. So let's do those. And these I'm actually only able to fit like 4. I'll do another one and show you what it looks like with a couple more done. Okay, so here, these three are done over here. Right here. This one, and this one. So we're using the lighter colors now, the lighter pink. All right, so at the beginning of this tutorial, I said if you wanted to choose different colors, you could certainly. So just make sure that you're using the lighter shades where we do the lighter shades and the darker shades where we do the darker shades. And you will be all set. Okay, I am totally loving this. When I saw this piece, I was like, oh, we have to do this. It's absolutely lovely. And doing dotted mandalas, and I have a student who, she's so good at them, she's so surpassed the teacher, which is me, that I said to her, you know, I said, if I were you, I said, you're so good at it. I said, I would run some, you know, classes of my own if I were you. So she actually, and you're going to love this idea. You know how people put on fun and paints and wine and paints and all that good stuff. So she did that with a mandala class at a Chinese restaurant. And she's like, oh, wish you would come. I said, I am so there. I will be there. And I did go and I had a blast. And we ate Chinese food and we made mandalas. And it was totally, totally awesome. Her work is absolutely gorgeous. So if you get a chance to see it, you will absolutely love it. Okay, so these are my mixed rows of circles. So now I have walked the dots twice. So I have 2 rows of walked dots. Okay. And on this, there are 3. So we're going to go ahead and put a 3rd one in, but we're going to use white or a really light pink. Okay. So I'm thinking, there's a purple dot there. Okay, so we're going to do, yes, a little purple dot first. So take that back. I take that back. All right. So we are going to make a purple dot right over this middle. And it's the same size as the pink one. So whatever size you used for that. Okay, and I will show you. Let me do a couple and show you. There. 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 I actually just noticing it just in the nick of time. Okay. So we're going to do that all the way around, and then we're going to walk the white dots. So this is an exquisite piece, and everyone is like, well, do you think beginner students can do it? I said, if they can dot, they can do it. And it does not have to look exactly like this one. And like I said, you know, if you're choosing your own color schemes and whatnot. It's kind of your own thing. It's very cool. When I went to my student's class, she spent a great deal of time with everyone, and it was very nice. And as I was waiting for her to kind of teach them, I went rogue a little bit. But I don't suggest that you go rogue a little bit unless you're a little bit more drawing. Okay, so here are my little purple dots, like here and here and here. Okay. All right, now we're going to walk the white dots down the sides. So let me do one and show you how it is done. So the side, 1, 2, 3. Ah, nice. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Okay, so both sides. Okay, so I will do another one, and you will be able to see it. Okay. Here it is. So here. Okay, so okay. Very cool. And you know, people come up with these ideas for these mandala designs, certainly. But you can, once you feel comfortable enough, there's no reason why you can't come up with your own design. And I started telling you about my student doing the wine and paint mandalas. You know, mandalas, when you're really getting into them, what mandalas are meditation tools. And when you're going to find that when you're working on these mandalas, as you get so engrossed in them, they actually are very meditative in the really get into it. Time seems to move differently because it's like you're moving with time, you're enmeshed with it, you're merged with it, and it's really quite meditative. And if you get to a point where you kind of really know what you're doing, and you're not, I mean, you do have to focus, obviously, but you know, your mind can kind of wander a little bit. You can ponder certain things that have gone on during the day, whatever it might be. It's a nice, relaxing way to meditate. How cool is that? Nice. Okay, so here's that. And here's this one. Okay, so we are so totally getting there. All right, so we want to look and see what would you like to do next. And we are going to do, excuse me, 2 more purple dots where these are. Okay, so again, using, I'm going to need a bit more paint here. Okay, let me do a couple of these and show you what I'm up to. Okay, so I'm adding 2 dots to each purple dot. Yes. Okay. And again, you know, if you need a really closer up view, pick up your handout. that, and then you can see it up close. And again, you can kind of take a snapshot with your phone of this, but the center sends emails out newsletters, and the picture of this mandala is on that newsletter. So you can segregate it and print it out from there if you want to. You can stop this, quick snapshot of it. You can do a print screen if you're watching it on your computer. In this age of technology, you have a lot of options. If you're like my awesome sister, to be like, well, I don't know how to do that. So I go over and I use it. So I go back and forth a little bit. I help a little bit. Okay, so we have those dots in. Now we want to put a pink dot. She has one pink dot here. 1, 2. Oh, she skipped one. I get it. I get it. I say she. Let's go ahead, put in some larger pink dots. So I use this, and you're probably going to use your pencil, on your pencil. But let's go ahead and use the darker red and put it where? Between those. I take it back. I hope you didn't start yet. As I'm looking at this, I'm thinking to myself, where the heck? Right. So in between those points, there are 1, 2, 3 purple dots. So go back to your pencil point. You're definitely going to need more purple. Yeah. And like I said, it's better for you to add the paint as you need it, because the tendency is for it to kind of dry out. And even if I'm done and I have some paint left in these, I'm going to close the container. I'm also going to put plastic in it to keep it nice. Okay, so in between these whites, he or she has 3 purple dots. 1, 2, they come out. And 3. Okay, so hold that thought. 1, 2, 3. Let me do a couple. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so here are the 3 dots coming out from this middle. Okay, so we do those, not the white dots, but between the white dots, 3 dots coming out of them. This has a lot of dots to it, and I just made it crooked. Straighten that up. So, not sure when this is actually being aired, but for me, tomorrow is Friday, so I will be at the center as long as it's not too hot. It's supposed to be in the 80s with a 20% chance of showers is what I saw on the weather website, local weather website. So far we are a go. Of course, check. And actually, it's a good idea to, I stay in touch with the students via email and or text. Okay, so if you want to be included in that group, you can email me. I'm Jonissa, J-O-A-N. N as in Nancy, I as in Stephen A at Comcast.net. Okay, so you can email me and tell me put my name on the Friday art class list. Or if you're not into email so much, some people are not, you can text me, because I also send out a text to those who are not on email, and you can text me at 978-807-7608. And say the same thing. Put me on the email list for the Friday class. And that way you get a personal email from me saying class is not going to happen because it's going to be a monster. But yes, it's going to meet at our regular time, which is 11 to 12:30. Okay, let's see. Where are we now? All right, so now we can put our big dots. Okay, so again, whatever you use to make these purple dots, we are going to use to make more purple dots. Oh no, not purple dots. This. Okay, so see these darker pink dots. All right, so they're connected to those three purples that we just put on here. So let me do a couple, and that way it'll be really noticeable for you. So even if you're using a different color scheme, all right, so what you were using, whatever you were using for the light pink, you have a darker shade of that I'm using for my darker pink. If you're using a blue, it would be your darker blue. Now this is nice. Okay. Wait for me. No, go ahead. When I was doing fun paints at the center, I had the hardest time trying to get people to not go ahead of me, because then, like I said, things would happen. On the wrong place, and go, oh, I'm going to put it here, and then would spend a great deal of time actually fixing them. So we don't want to end up doing that. Okay, so we're going to do a little pink dot. Where? On top of a purple dot. Okay, so I'm doing a light pink on top of a little purple. Let me do a couple, show you up close. Okay. Okay. So yeah. And we made the longer purple. So I know that this is lots of dots, but if you've done the other tutorials, they were relatively easier. And this one is not hard. It just actually has more dots on it. So if in fact you have been kind of following along and you would graduate to more dots, you can almost never have dots. Okay. Now we want to have those little light pink dots. And I think I made mine dark pink dots. No, they're light pink dots. I'm telling you, after the end of the day. Okay, so we have our light pink dots, and we're going to make another light pink dot. We're going to go bigger here. So again, we're getting into pencil eraser territory. Let me do a couple for you so that you see where I'm going. Okay, so we put those little pink dots, like pink dots. Now if the dot pink, light pink, and then go pink. So I did 1, 2, 3. Okay. So we're using the light pink or the lighter shade of your color if you're using a different color scheme, which is absolutely okay. All right. So now we have those babies on there. And we're going to do a third dot. And I'm actually going to go bigger, bigger. Actually do, I'm going to get myself in trouble here. Let's go bigger. So if you have a daughter that you, the bigger daughter, not the biggest one possibly, but the next size down, like you can have a dime on there. Let's do that one. Okay, and again, doing light pink, yeah, and going here with it. Oh, nice. Okay. I knew I was going to like it. There. Okay. My large. So we have small, medium, large, right after the other. And I like that idea because then we can kind of walk the dots around them and make a really, really beautiful picture. These make wonderful, wonderful gifts. I play ukulele with a group, and we raise money for the Ukulele Kids Club, which is a club that supports children like in long care facility hospitals and so on and so forth. And they bring in ukuleles, they teach them how to play a few chords, and the patients are actually able to the ukuleles, take them home and continue to play and heal and do all that good stuff. So the name of the group I play with is called Southern New Hampshire Ukulele Group, and we do a fundraiser. And with our fundraiser this year, it's actually Henry Law Park in New Hampshire, and I'm donating $1 to be raffled off along with another piece of artwork. I've actually painted on ukuleles and all kinds of things. And again, we raffle them off. Whatever funds we get from that, it goes to the kids club. And just as a little braggy type of point, Southern New Hampshire ukulele actually raised over $75,000 over like a period, which is no little task. I really labor of love, but do a lot of pro bono So September 18th, Henry Law Park in Dover, New Hampshire, from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. That's where I will be playing my ukulele and drafting off some artwork. Okay, so absolutely, you and your family come and join us. It's free. There's no admission fee. It is free to entree. Okay, so the first pink dot. Okay, so this little guy, very first pink dot, we're going to take pencil point. We're going to walk the dots around this little pink guy, medium guy, and as a big one. Show you how to do that right this very moment, and I'm going to use the white to do that. And let me do one first for you. Okay, I'm going to do a second one, because I think when there's more than one, it's a little bit easier to follow. All right, so what you're going to see here are these little pink dots. Here, okay. So let us do that. Beauteous, beauteous. So ukulele is a lot of fun. I was lucky enough to spend a little bit of time in Hawaii, which was extremely cool. And I brought home with me a very pink ukulele. And I didn't know they had different kinds at that point. But the one I brought home was called a concert uk or ukulele. It's ukulele. And it actually means dancing flea in Hawaiian, because you kind of dance around it like a little bug, a flea. So when I got home, of course, I had a disc. So I tried to kind of teach myself. I'm like, huh, this is so not going to work. So I started looking ukulele groups to play with. Now, I don't know if you know what a meetup is, but kind of a groups of people with a common interest that kind of get together and for that common interest. So I looked for ukulele groups, and I found that there were quite a few, a lot more than I thought were out there. So I actually signed up with like 3 of them, thinking, okay, out of the 3, I'm going to find one that feels really good, feels like home. And so I went to one, and the people there were very nice, and that was okay. Okay. Benefit work, playing at retirement homes, really using their passion to make the world a better place. I said, that's great for me. So I and so I right now here. Okay. And I hit that button. So like I said, it's been a good 4 or 5 years at this point that I have been there. So it's very exciting. All right, we're going to go purple over the little pinky dots. So we're going to do purple from the next row of dots, and I will show you that little ditty as well. As soon as I figure out where it's going. Okay. All right, so let me show you. Okay, from this one all the way to the next one. Oh, okay, so we need to have little purple dots there. Okay, so we're going to put purple dots. All right, I'm going to put purple dots over my pink dots. And let me show you what I'm doing here. Okay, so I put purple dots. Okay, so we just see little white guys. So the pink dot next to it is going to have a purple dot on top. And then we're going to go ahead and connect those little guys. Okay, so once again, halt the recording if you need to. Okay, and I know that I keep saying it, but I don't want you to rush. Okay, and I know some people are like, well, you're going so fast, blah, blah, blah. and it doesn't feel fast to me, but that doesn't, but I've done a number of them. So if this is like the first time you're going to want to take a little bit more time, which is totally okay. So now I have purple dot, middle pink one. Now I'm going to walk from purple dot to purple dot. And I will show you what it is I need. I'm going to go from pink to purple dot. So purple's here. Okay. Wait a minute. Hold that thought. Here's my second pink dot. I'm going to bring it down to here. Gotcha. 1, 2, 3. Do a couple and show you. Okay. So I'm actually connecting dots here. And actually, before I show it to you, I'm going to grab one of my Q-tips here and move one of these dots up. Okay, so when I say I'm going to move it up, I'm actually taking the dots off of here. Okay, so I mean, if you make a mistake, don't worry about it. It's okay. They're usually pretty fixable. All right, so let me get this back here. Okay, so I'm going to go here, here, here. Okay, so let me show you what I'm doing now. I'm actually walking down from over this pink to the next down. Up, down, up, down. Okay. And how cool is that? So go all the way to each one here. So from that purple dot that you just put on there to down, it really makes a nice look here. Nice connection. Typically, you know, you have these dots on here. You're like, oh my God, how are they going to end up being connected to the other dots? And this is how. So, and once you start getting this many dots on a canvas, it's easy enough to like lose your place. So just, like I said, take your time and do not panic if you lose your place. Just kind of stop and take a look at it like we did here. And pretty soon it'll make sense. All right, so yeah, can you see them? So this is my so far. I have to say it's very exciting to me. Okay, so now we're going to do pink ones on top of that one, and in between we're going to do pink from here to here. Okay, let me do a couple and just show you. And I am going to do light pink from 1, 2, 3 here to there. So I'm going to do a middle and then go 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. Okay. Here it is, right here. So I'm putting a dot right here. Okay. In between those two big ones. And then I have enough room to walk 4 dots. 2, 3, 4. Okay, middle. Middle. Good. And I have to say, I like the juxtapositions of the lights and the dots in here. Gives it a nice feel. And this particular stroke that we're doing on here now really gives it, brings a shape all together. That's right, there we go. Okay, so they're not all on here yet, so you get an idea what's going on here. And I'm not sure I can do it holding it up, but there's a dot here. If you can see that. 4, and then dip, dip, and again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And I'm counting my middle dot as 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. We're supposed to go to a birthday party up north this weekend. Today, right now, is Thursday. I'm supposed to go this weekend, but my poor cousin is not feeling well, and it's not COVID related, I don't think. She has diverticulitis. So, I mean, she has been vaccinated, and I know there's been a lot of stuff happening for vaccinated people, unfortunately. But I don't think that this is. So we're going to put it off and do it another day. Okay, so this is what I'm having so far. And then we are getting close. Okay. Getting close. And if I hold this like a diamond shape, yeah. Let's see. Okay, so I mean, this is on kind of a pink background, but you can see inside there. That we have a really good likeness. We're going to go with white dots over. These are beautiful, beautiful little lacy things going on over here. So in between these little guys, let's do some white dots over our pink ones. I'm going to do one big one and then 1, 2. Do another one bigger one, and then walk down. Okay, so there. Doing one on each side. Okay. Let's do it. And we want to create a little bit of a peak here because it gives it, like I say, more shape. Gives it a very interesting shape for sure. I'll redo that one. There we go. I'm taking another look. Okay, so this, I guess okay, this one looks like it could be a little bit bigger. went ahead and put all these little dots on there. This one, let's make it a little lower. So actually I have one big dot in the middle and one on either side of the bigger dot. And the bigger dot is just bigger because it's the first dot. But what ends up happening is the dot ends up running out of paint as you walk the dots along, and thus it'll make a smaller dot. Okay, so here are my 3 little white dots all the way around. And this one looks like it could be a bit of help. So let's help it out. Okay, so now take and do some, I want to do another row of these. Right, so I'm going to, again, I'm going to use the light pink and I'm going to put a dot right where I want to start what looks like a chain to me. Okay, so wherever this comes out, put a little pink dot there. Okay. Because we're going to create another line of design there. Let me go ahead and do one. And I'm finding that I can get 4. Okay, and again, it's kind of very dependent upon the tool you're using, how close you are to the line that's below you. Okay, so I'm going to show you this is the three lines. It's a very lacy kind of look, very pretty. And like I said, at some point you can create your own designs. But right now we're kind of looking at something and trying to emulate the kind of beauty of it. But there isn't anything that says you can't do exactly what you want to do. Whoa, too much paint. Okay, so again, don't let the paint build up on your tool like I did, because you want to keep our dots clean. And if you have paint drying on the tip of your tool or your pencil, whatever it is you're using, then the dots don't come out like dots. They come out like, I don't know what to call them, but they don't come out nice and round and beauteous like we want them to. Okay, nice. So there is even more on the handout, but we might be reaching our edge here, which is a-okay. These, I have to say, this is going to end up being one of my favorite pieces, I believe. I do believe. Okay, so let me show you what I have here. Okay, nice, nice. All right, so I'm thinking, let's go and do some of these here, and then we'll that's last step. You could put some weight in here. Let's think about that. Let's do this part first and see what we want to do, because we don't have a whole bunch of space left here. So we're going to go this smallish, okay? So I am going to take, right, so we have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have 1, 2, 5, 2, 4, 6, 8. So we have 8 on there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. Not too shabby. Let's do a smallish. Okay, like you could use, if you have a small dauber like this, you could use it. You could use a flattened out side of a pencil, like not one that's been really sharpened a lot. Okay, and I'm going to put it right, yeah. Okay, and I'm using the white. And I want to do one here. So there's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. So probably should do this guy too. We should do them. I don't want to leave them left out. Too much is never enough. So actually, just all of these big round guys, I'm putting a white dot beside. Okay, and then I'm going to take my smallest tool again, which ends up being, like I said, the pencil point, and I'm going to walk some dots around here. I'm going to take this one and move it over just a little bit. Thinking I did not put it in exactly the right spot. So while they're still wet, you can kind of work with them a little bit. Okay, so now again, your pencil point is what's probably going to work best for this. So we have our white here. Okay, we use that little white dot. I'm going to take my light pink and just dot around it. Okay, and I will show you. I'm going to do 3 dots. Let me do a couple so you can see. 2, 3. 2, 3. Okay, so here's what I have. All right, so here's my dot. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay. And don't worry if you don't have exactly the same thing. Okay. So I'm going to do a couple more and then show you what it looks like again, so that you get an idea. Okay, so you can see the ones where I've done like right here and here, and these are the ones that I've not done. So see how these just have the dot just kind of hanging out there, and then these are the ones that I walk the dots, walking the dots. I'm using my light pink to do that. Okay. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. This is actually very rewarding to do. You will absolutely love it. So even after you finish this tutorial, like I said, you can actually paint on just acrylic is very versatile. You can pretty much paint on any surface. So if you happen to have another canvas, that's fine. If you don't have a canvas, but you have a piece of wood or any other kind of heavy stock. You know, if you have, I have a student that has 300-pound Arches watercolor paper. It actually will hold this very nicely. Okay, so this, there you go, is there. Okay, now I'm going to do some purple. Okay, I'm going to grab the purple and put it, I will show you right where I'm putting it here. Okay, so here are my purple dots. Here is like this. And I'm going to walk those down as well. And then I'm going to actually stop right there because I am at the end of my canvas. So there's actually a third dot in the handout. However, my dots might be a little bigger in some places. Yours might be a little bigger in some places. It might be a little smaller. So if you decide that you want to go ahead and add another row, by all means, absolutely go and do that. Okay, so I'm going to walk these dots down here. And then I will show you what's going on with them as soon as I get them on here. And I want this to be kind of a big dot there. So let me do more so you can really get an idea here. I'm doing 4 dots down the side at least. Okay, let's do that again. Get it nice. Okay. So see what's happening here. We're getting that kind of, we're getting this look. I hope that you're in Springfield. Okay, so here's where yes, yes. Okay. So we have that, and actually very, very becoming. And I have apparently used a lot of purple because almost out again. Okay, let's see here. Oh, nice. Okay. On this side. So again, takes a bit of concentration. Once you get used to doing them, then your mind can kind of wander a little bit. You can think about the day ahead or the day that you just spent. I was listening to a podcast today, and I was really, really impressed with this guy. And I know I should remember his name since I'm telling you about him, but I don't. I will look it up. If you really want to know what it is, you know, send me a message and I'll find it. But this guy, he's a doctor, and he has sons, and he's married, so he has 2 sons. Him and his wife, every day with the kids, mind you, they do a meditation in the morning, and in that morning meditation, they think about, you know, things that they would like to accomplish during the day. They think about, you know, things that they're thankful for in their lives, like, you know, having just even regular stuff, food on the table, a warm, beautiful home, blah, 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 whatever it might be. But they kind of focus on, you know, what they have and also what they want to do that day. How can I make this day, you know, productive? Or what can I do to help other people? And I mean, his kids, I want to say they're like I think the oldest one was like 13. So you're talking young kids, and they're really getting them into a nice habit of, kind of meditating and, taking stock and what they're grateful for, but taking it a step further and saying, okay, what is it that we can do today that's going to kind of make the world a better place? I'm going to go help my neighbor, maybe I'm going to go shovel someone's driveway, whatever it might be. They kind of set an intention. And then at the end of the day, when they get ready for bed, they have another meditation. And they go through the day, and they start like in the morning, and they look at the things that they've done, and they kind of been doing a little bit of an evaluation, like what did they do today that you feel absolutely awesome about? Did they do some things that they wish they could have done better? Did they lose their temper at some point? What did they learn from that? And so forth. So this is like 2 meditations a day, one in the morning to kind of set intention for the day, and then one at the end of the day to kind of figure out, how did I do? And everything is a learning process. It's very non-judgmental. So, if you had a rough day, what did you learn from it? Well, maybe take more time, whatever it might be. Okay, so I have all this going on. So I was quite impressed that as a family, this family did that. And I'm like, if families kind of work together like that all the time, boy, oh boy, when they see major changes. So I have to say, I was extremely, extremely impressed. Okay, so some of these, like I said, there's a third row here, which I'm not sure I could fit a third row in. I'm going to try it. See, I guess I can. I'm like so surprised here. Okay, so let me do another third row over here. So I have 2 that I can show you. I'm doing actually 6 dots because now I'm going a longer way, going 6 dots down from center. Okay, so these 2 are done, and these are not. Take a closer look. Okay, so we're getting some of these in here. If you want to make them narrower, you certainly can do that. Make them narrower. Okay, I'm going to put dots in here. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're going quite a ways here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So some really good ideas. I mean, I don't have any kids. I don't have children. I have an awesome niece. Actually, I have 2 awesome nieces and a grand niece. And grand she is, that little one, just turned 1 in July. And totally amazing to me. Like I said, don't have any kids, so you guys probably already knew this. It amazes me how one little girl can totally light up your life. Okay, so this is my 3rd row, and it's white over here. So these are done. These are not. Okay, so you can see how we're kind of creating this look over here. All right. Now they've kind of skipped one in between, and I have not. So I wonder if I would like to do that. Maybe. Okay. So if I go ahead and skip this one, skip that one, skip this one, and take that off of there. So actually, if I'm going to go ahead, no, I was going to say, if I'm going to go ahead and skip them, then I actually need to do some fix-up painting. But I changed my mind once again. And when I do my next one, I will try and see how we like it. So again, I don't really feel like this really wrong way to do these. So that gives us a lot of freedom. I had a student, the very first time she did one of these, counting. She's like, oh my God, Joni, I don't know if I have enough patience to do this. She said, so I said to her, well, I said, if you're not enjoying it, I would say, don't do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So she just kind of put it aside, and as other people were finishing theirs, she was like, oh my God, those are beautiful, this and that. So I said, yeah, I said, they really are quite beautiful. She said, she said, I think I'd like to try to make another one. And I said to her, by all means, you should try to make another one. 3, 4, 5, 6. And so she did. She made one and it came absolutely beautiful. So a lot of it is just a state of mind, I guess, because she was like, oh, I don't know, there's so many dots here. I don't know if I have the patience to do all these dots. And I said to her, well, I said, I'm a firm believer. If I'm not having fun, there's plenty of things that I enjoy doing that I will do instead. I said, so I said, if you're not enjoying it, I would say don't do it. But and our mandala, okay, before we call it like totally done, I like to do a few little top dots. Okay, now top dots are when you have a dot and you put another dot. It's these pink dots with the white dots inside. Okay, so that's kind of, they have there and they have some purple ones. So I'm gonna say let's do some of the purple on these little pink guys. Okay, and I'll show you as soon as I finish it here. Okay, so these are some little pink dots, purple dots. What I was trying to say. Okay. So I'm going to continue. To do that. All right, so top dotting is just a little bit of an extra, little extra something that you can kind of put on them, and it just looks awesome. So typically you use a contrast color. So contrast color is usually light over dark or dark over light. So like I said, in this case, I'm putting the darker purple over the pink. Okay, and this is actually the lighter pink. So it makes a nice contrast. Okay, for the middle, I'm going to put in nothing. I like it the way it is. Okay, so I have some purple on these outside dots, like right here. I'm gonna put some white dots in. I think I want to put some white dots in these. Okay, now it's not in your handout. I'm just kind of going rogue here. So use your judgment. If you don't think it sounds like a good idea, don't do it. But I will show you what this looks like. And I have a feeling you will love it. Okay, so I'm doing white over my purple dots. Okay. And this That's very pretty to me. Okay, so I'm thinking, do I want to put anything in these guys over here? Maybe. Think about this. I think I want. Nope, that's too small. That was too big. Let's try this guy. Ah, that was just right. And I'm going to put white in these guys right here. And actually just pick a smaller tool than the one that you're trying to cover, because you don't want to cover the entire dot. You just want to dot it. Okay. So here, so there's that big dot. That's white. Okay, top dot. And if your dots are not all the way dry yet, you might want to wait until they are. You can top dot a whole lot better when they are. Okay. Alrighty. I'm actually liking this just as is. Okay, so here it is. There's my little guy. And let's see if we can get some of this stuff in. Okay. Here is this. How beauteous is that? You love it. You know you do. And the fact that you put so much work into it makes it even better. Okay. So this is our rendition of this. Okay. All right. So again, thank you, Dracut Council on Aging, Dracut Cultural Council, and Friends of the Dracut Elderly, because they are the ones that are making these tutorials possible. And they're also nice enough to let us share them with the GHAA, Greater Havel Arts Association, GHAA.art, if you want to know more about them. Also sharing with BATV, which is Bill Rucker Access. So it's BATVINC.org if you want to know more about them. So, so they're putting them there. So anyone who is still kind of at home, or, you know, I know there's still a lot of, I get myself in trouble all the time. I feel like the media is still creating a lot of fear-based stuff going on. But anyway, if you're home and need something to do, or even if you're not home and just need something to do, you just want to do it because it's absolutely awesome, then by all means, do so. Okay. Jonissa, JOANISA at Comcast.net is me. It is my email address. You can send me pictures of your work. You can ask me questions and say, yo, how did we do this? Blah, 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 so on and so forth. You can text me at 978-807-7608. And you can text your pictures. You can text questions. You can text and say, yo, put me on the list for the Friday morning art class at the Dracut Council on Aging. Okay. So even though this doesn't quite look pink until I get it nice and close, so it's white, pink, and purple. Okay. And like I said, you can frame these or not. They make the most awesome gifts. Okay. So I am going to say thank you. I am going to bid you adieu and bid you good night. And like I said, you need help, let us know. The Dracut Council on Aging, even though the building is not open, the staff is in the building and they are still able to provide, whatever services that you need, whether it be food or whatever. Okay, so give them a call. If they cannot help you, they know how to get you help. Okay, they care about you. I care about you. All right, so stay in touch. Let us know how you're doing and send me some pictures. Let me see what you're doing. I've gotten a few, but I would like a few more. Okay, my darlings. All right, I am going to say good night, and we'll see you next time.